Hi, welcome back. So we were supposed to go to the moon, but meanwhile I have been uh, putting some satellites in orbit, making some extra money, and designing an extra rocket that would be of use when going to the moon. So we made some relay stations now in polar orbit, uh, and I've been fiddling around with the ketonic mod because it was giving me problems. I noticed I already have the solar panels now, and I noticed when I did a test on the ground here in KSP that the solar panels weren't working with the Ketonic mod 1.4, I guess. So I upgraded it to 1.7 and then it was okay. So there was some on the forums, some reading on the forums, and then it was quickly dealt with. But anyway, I've made this rocket which I think is gonna bring us to the moon with under 30 parts because we still haven't upgraded the VAB. Let me see where it is. I've got this Luna 1. I think it worked out pretty nicely with just 30 parts, but I think it doesn't have enough delta V to just get there. Also, we haven't got any what do you call it, patched conics. We can't do any flight planning yet, so we have to a little bit eyeball it. Let me see, we have 45 extra units of science, so let's see what we can do in the research center. We could go for an upgrade with additional fins for stability. We could go aviation and making planes, or we could have some upgraded parts on the launch pad for stability. But I mean, we haven't only got 30 parts now to do it, so going to the moon will be a matter of making a very sleek design with minimal parts and just a basic return trajectory from the moon. So I don't want to spend any more science points in here. I just want to make this one a little bit more delta V. I think the way to do it is, well, just to leave more stuff here. So what we could do is take this battery and put this battery on top here, so that we have one extra part here. Now we have 29. I could do with only one thermometer, okay, that's already there. I could do with only one solar panel, but I think if we put an extra if we put some extra tank here, I think we'll be good to go. Something like this. I think this should work. So we're gonna find out. I'm gonna launch this one and see if we can do a return trajectory from the moon. Okay, so here we are at the launch pad, ready for our lunar insertion, and there we go. Okay. Now, what happened? So I was noticing that the engines were twisting a little bit, and I think I had SAS on. So I think what happens sometimes, it's a little bit buggy when this one is in reversed. So I guess it's gonna work better if I put it like this, because it's upside down. And if you go straight down, somehow the computer makes a mistake. I think this is what happens, and this luckily our launch pad wasn't destroyed, but I'm very anxious to see now if the solution I got is gonna solve the problem, because we can definitely not destroy this launch pad because it's gonna cost us a lot of money, and we don't have it, as we are and mostly in difficult settings. So let me see, we got this more heavy Luna 1 rocket. We're gonna launch it again. And I'm gonna put the control mechanism into reverse. And I have to be quick because it's not too stable at the moment, the rocket, as there's no stuff to hold it in place. Control point reversed. I think this should be right. Okay, let's see. I remember this problem from a long time ago. Staging correct still, yeah, okay, let's go. Yep, that fixed it. That's an expensive 15,000 space bucks, just gone. I think this is a very neatly designed rocket, if I say so myself. I mean, there's not a lot of parts to go by, but this is aerodynamically correct. At about 10 kilometers we're going to start our turn, but I'm wondering if yeah, it's correct, the gimbal, the nav ball is still correct. Now maximum dynamic pressure. Well, it's a little bit wobbly trying to turn. I think I'm gonna throttle a little bit back. That's very controllable with these 3 engines that are able to gimbal. There we go. Surface to orbit. Let's see what we got. 63 kilometers up. Now I disconnected the top part and I put the stack decoupler on reverse, so it sticks with the nose cone now. We're able to move this because this Probodobodyne droid has a gimbal inside. We have to make sure we stay in contact and connection with the Kerbal Space Center. Otherwise, we won't have any control over the aircraft, over the spacecraft. So almost at the highest point now. So I'm gonna throttle. I'm trying to circularize my orbit. It doesn't. Our inclination is not really of importance. We just have to make sure that we have electrical power in the. We have solar panels, but we have to point them at the sun. They're not exposed on the outside of the craft. Now, we could do a manned mission to lunar orbit, but I think this is historically correct. I mean, you could put some Kerbals out there and get a huge amount of science. I think I like to do it the way it should be done. Look at those textures on the nozzle. I think next time when I make a video, I'm gonna speed up the launches, because we've seen launches by now and we just want to see the interesting bits. unfold the antenna as we're in space now. It's a high gain antenna, which also works as a relay. But as we did not upgrade our communication center, well, we have limited connectivity with Kerbal. So I made sure we had the best antenna we could have. And we have these relay satellites also flying in polar orbit. So hopefully we'll get some more connection. And then we keep connected with Kerbal. Let me see. Now, as we don't have any navigation, we cannot do any flight planning. We have to eyeball it basically to the moon, which basically is when you see the moon coming over the horizon on Kerbal, that's the time to burn to the moon. Now, I don't think I'm gonna see if we're gonna go into the influence of the moon or the moon. But we'll see. We have. I will make sure we keep having electrical charge, because if it runs out, then it's over. So I'm going to speed up time to just about over the horizon. Hope we have connectivity with some space center. We should have connectivity right now. Not sure why not. As I think the relay stations make use. Maybe I should have brought also another antenna, as this is only one. It's combinable. I don't know how it works exactly, but at least we have electrical charge. We have connectivity again. And when we see moon appearing on the other side, like now, we're gonna go prograde and we're gonna burn just to get into the influence of the moon. And just like that, we can free return trajectory from the moon. Or to put it in other words, if we somehow lose connectivity or whatever, we can go back to Kerbal very easily. Well, looks like we have enough fuel. So basically we have to do a retrograde burn a little bit to get into to get back to Kerbal, to the atmosphere of Kerbal, because our job is to gather scientific data but also return it from a flyby. So there's 1,000 delta V left. Should be fine. Almost there. Now, as we don't have any flight planning, I'm not sure if this return trajectory is correct now. I have no idea. We're a little bit off as well on the inclination. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. We'll see, and otherwise we'll have to skip some orbits, but I'm not gonna give it any more correction, because I think this will be fine. So we have electrical charge, and yeah, let's skip this. Can I do target here? No. So there's almost 1 day of traveling time. We have to keep that in mind when we do. Oh, we're not gonna reach it. We lost the moon. But we can do a we can adjust our inclination, I guess, and wait for the moon to show up one day. let's see, so we have to be like somewhere over here to adjust our inclination. Let me see which, hopefully we have enough fuel for this. No, another way around. I'm always confused with normal and anti-normal. We'll adjust it a little bit. We just eyeball it and wait for the moon to show up. Another attempt. Now we're definitely gonna hit the moon. I think we're gonna hit it too much even. So I'm gonna throttle back a little bit here. And put our solar panels in the sun. Maybe do a hibernation. Maybe we could do some science. I'm not sure. Pressure? Yeah, we can do pressure. The temperature is already good. I'm gonna leave the mystery goo for on the moon. So this is fine. The solar panels are charging the batteries, and I'm gonna put this in hibernation just to be sure. And then we're just gonna wait for the second attempt. I think this is just gonna be eyeballing it. We're now 4 days into the flight. I mean, we have all the time. Maybe this is gonna be the one. Nope. How much money do we have? We did do a flyby of the moon, I guess, somehow. Let me see. We have enough to upgrade our communication center now, which would enable us to do flight planning. Well, maybe this is gonna be the time that we're gonna get into the influence of the moon. Watch this one. This is gonna be close. Yep. So we're 20 days ahead now, and we're flying by the moon. We have some fuel left. There's 846 meters per second left, but I'm just gonna keep it and do my science over here. Local temperature, and we're gonna keep it, and we're gonna bring it back home. That's what we're gonna try to do. Measuring the temperature of space appears to be quite impossible, as there's no matter around to be either hot or cold, except the spacecraft and the thermometer itself. This is probably going to give R&D guys something to think about for a while. The pressure measurement. Let me see, we can do a mystery goo. That's 14 science right there. It seems to be high in space over the moon. So if we can get a little bit closer, maybe we'll be low in space. And then we'll have to send some data. hibernation of mystery goo. Still high in space over the moon. Yeah, next time around we can do better with flight planning, but this is gonna be fine. This is gonna complete our mission. We got scientific data, recover and transmit, recover or transmit any science experiment to the moon. Okay, just to be sure, just for safety, if we're not gonna end up back to Kerbal because we have a technical issue or something, I'm gonna send this one. So we meet this requirement. At least we got that one. We can do it again. There's a little bit of science left. And now we're gonna head back to Kerbal. Let's see what orbit we end up. Now we end up a little bit higher because of the Oberth effect, I guess. But we can shrink our orbit. That's why I wanted to keep the remaining fuel on there. Let's get out of hibernation. Or we have to shrink the orbit maybe 25 kilometers up from Kerbal. Which we can do, plenty of fuel left. This should be fine. We have a heat shield. So where's Kerbal? Now the trouble is, hopefully we'll end up in some place where we have connectivity with Kerbal, because otherwise we won't be able to deploy the parachutes. So it would be safer actually to keep it a little bit higher so we can guess the location where we're gonna end up. But we're gonna see if this is gonna work. Otherwise we have to do it again and try with Kerbal maybe. For now we have connectivity, but if we end up over the ocean, as it seems we're gonna do right now, we might have a problem because there's no station there. So I'm gonna try and save this a little bit. Get us a little bit higher on the orbit. Because I'm worried that we cannot deploy our parachute like this. Let's see, I'm gonna go slowly. We're gonna go skipping in the atmosphere. I want to be here in the desert airfield because the station, oh, let's see, you see the green line going to this island over here, so there must be a connection up there. So we can just as we have a heat shield, there's no passengers, so there's no G-forces we have to worry about. So we just I'm gonna try and land somewhere over there with at the station. See, I can put the connections with the ground over here. This is gonna be a hard re-entry, but it doesn't matter because it's just a drone. I think this is gonna do it for us. We're gonna be ending up at this island over there. Hopefully. Let's get the lost electricity from the sun. Where is it? I forgot a mystery goo container, maybe. No, there's both data in there and data in there. There's data in here. Okay, I think we're ready to decouple and leave our vessel. But then we won't have this high gain antenna anymore, but it doesn't matter. I think there's antenna inside the drone as well. But it's not gonna work on the plasma blackout. I think it doesn't matter. We still have control. We're gonna put it in a retrograde orientation. Now notice that I put the parachute one attachment point downward, because on top of the battery, because if I did it on top of the other point, then it won't work with the nose cone. It was also expensive to find that out. But hey, that's how Elon Musk find out he had a problem with his rocket. I think we see the island already. There's connectivity still with Nye Island. It should orient itself on the right position like this, but just to be sure I keep SAS on for now. So connectivity is lost now. Heat shield is doing its job. And hopefully this surface base is gonna make sure the temperature is still right, because it can go up to very high temperatures. This is why all the science experiments are in there. I think this is gonna work. This is about 9 Gs now. But I'm hopeful that we can still have the connectivity with the parachute. Yep. So just as it is safe to put the parachute out, I'm gonna do it instantly, so I still have I cannot be too low under the horizon from the island. Yep. And that's it. I think we made it. Now we can release this heat shield, I guess. Oh, we cannot because there's no probe control. That's why you try and settle down on a station where you have connectivity if you have a probe. I mean, you have to put the setting in the settings. There's a switch that says connect to ground stations or something like that, and I think it's turned off by default, but So no probe controls, we just have to recover it. And that's it. I think there's plenty of space bugs to do some, and also science. I mean, there's 132 science right now. We gained 35. There's plenty of funds to do some upgrades. Not so much recovered funds, because it was recovered almost 1800 kilometers from the KSC, so it's only 50% value. So that's good. Lots of options now. And I think it will be a good idea to upgrade the tracking station and have flight planning there. Also, I would love to do smaller drones, because we'll get you way further. So we can do low flybys of the moon. We have solar panels. I also would like to do docking, but if you do docking, you would have to also let me see. You would also have to have some SAS or RCS. I'm sorry. I think we're gonna go for let me see. I think we're gonna go for aviation first of all, and we're gonna go for the smaller rocketry. Yeah, because that would enable us to get drones to Minmus as well. We could do loads of science. I think we have to stay under 30 parts. But if you have a small drone, you can go way further, I guess, because they're very light and you have like a third stage on top of there. So yeah, we're gonna do this one, and we're gonna do, and you have a smaller engine as well, because in space it doesn't matter if you have a small engine. It's more efficient. If you have a little bit more science, I would probably go for this aviation. And once I can make planes, I can do some let me see if I can get a little bit of extra. How do we give some science, extra science? Let me see. Did we put anything on the grasslands? That's not. We did a let me see, material study on launchpad in space, Kerbal of water, but not on grassland. So we can do a material study on the grassland and be done with it. And then we can make planes, and we can do some temperature scans over Kerbal, and we can fly around the terrain and get even more science. So I'm gonna get this drone to simply just, we can test a small drone out if we want to, but this engine, the small engine, I think it's not really doing much in, well, we can use it, try it out, see if it works. Use the small container. Oh no, I think I'm gonna have the materials bay underneath here, so it's gonna be heavy. So we're gonna go for this and put the materials bay on top, and we're gonna put it on the grassland. And get some more science. Let me see, one engine, simple engine. Wants to put the wings like that because I'm not sure how I change symmetry. I was middle mouse button on here, like this. Put it in different symmetry. I want some electrical power just to be sure. And we're gonna fly this up to grassland. And maybe we can put it also on some different buildings on KC, because it will give you another additional science if you go through all these buildings. Also, there's an artifact down here with some relation to Space Odyssey 2001. Is it? I'm not sure. Well, and why is this not working? Because I just let's see. Did we activate the engine? Oh, this is doing it all wrong. Nope. Mission failed. Simple mission, still we failed. I mean, the grasslands is over there, I think. And we destroyed an engine. Can we do Mystery Bay? Nope, there's already there. Okay. Okay, there we go again. Now I'm gonna try and get it as far to the grasslands down south or west. We're gonna activate the engine first. This is better. Yeah, grasslands over there. Oh. Now the nose cone of this craft is not stable. I'm gonna chase it, and it's very difficult to keep it in place. It's almost non-steerable. Maybe I can let's see, 270 west like this. Nope. Is there any study in here? Nope. And because we don't have fuel, we're gonna lose this engine again, I guess. Are these the grasslands? That's 5.3 from the shores. Okay. The water spray has rusted one of the samples, and some of the electronics malfunctioned. That's enough science for an aircraft. So we're gonna build ourselves the first aircraft. And we're gonna use this crappy runway over here, because we can actually I guess, we can get some space data from Kerbal, which is always useful. Expires in 3 days. Okay, we have to be careful with this. But we can do temperature surveys in the area, so let's see what we have in the surrounding area here. Those temperature surveys are not close to the space center. Are they even on Kerbal? I don't see them. We can rescue some Kerbals from because that would be a good idea, because if we're gonna buy another astronaut, it's gonna cost us next hires 103,000 space bucks, so that's a little bit expensive. So I would love to have another pilot in here, because we lost Jebediah, may he rest in peace. But if you look at the missions, you cannot see if there's a. I mean, Sean Connery. I'm not sure if this is a pilot or maybe it's in the. So I cannot tell if this is a pilot we're gonna rescue, because if you rescue a Kerbal from low Earth orbit or low Kerbal orbit, then he's gonna join your astronaut corps. We definitely have to explore the moon, orbit the moon, and return to orbit. That's one we're gonna definitely do. And we probably could get 2 of these guys from low Earth orbit. We can test the basic jet engine in flight. We can do. I'm gonna skip time and see if there's a way we can do something with the plane. But I'll be grinding some more missions, and then we'll see you next time, I guess.